going on, guys? It's Coach Sully from the Nanaimo Kettlebell Club, and today I want to review the Kettlebell Windmill. The windmill is another great mobility drill that we do in our warm-ups, but also that we do as a standalone exercise. So in that respect, it's a great exercise to do with a nice lightweight as a mobility drill for the hips, as well as a stability drill for the shoulder. And it's great exercise to ladder up the weight and really load it up, not unlike a Turkish get-up, where you really challenge your overall stability. So let me show you how to set up for your kettlebell windmill, and hopefully you can add this exercise to your full-time arsenal of stability and mobility drills. So you've got your kettlebell on the floor. Let's get that up to the rack position. Whatever way that you currently know how to do that. So if you've got your swing mechanics down, you can just back up and swing that into the rack position, or you can go ahead and snatch that all the way overhead. Alternatively, if you're just getting started with kettlebells and your swing mechanics aren't quite there yet, you can feel free just to straddle the bell, grab it with both hands, and cheek curl it into the rack, and then press it into the overhead. Okay, so now that we have the bell in the overhead, and of course we want to practice our good insertion, so we are in the webbing of the thumb and forefinger. We've rotated all the way so that we have contact with the forearm. So now we have that 45 degree. We have 3 contact points with the handle. And now let's move into the overhead. So thumb is turned slightly back, elbow is turned forward. My shoulder is packed down nice and stable. And this is where the shoulder stability part comes in. Part of our training involves us practicing stable shoulder positions because, of course, we do a lot of reps overhead. We want to make sure that whatever position that we're landing in is a finely tuned, stable position that we've practiced over and over again. So we've got our good alignment, our high fixation that we oftentimes call it. Now we need to make sure that we set up those feet. So I like to recommend not going too wide with the feet. If you're a bit more flexible, then you can get away with a wider foot stance, but I tend not to recommend that. A fairly modest shoulder width stance, sometimes even narrower for the really inflexible folks, is a good way to go. So we're going to direct the toes away from the kettlebell. So the kettlebell's on my right side. I'm directing my toes to the left. Now I'm going to shift my hips in the direction of the bell. So I'm sort of pushing my hips back, but I'm also shifting them to the side, right? I'm going to direct my eyes to the bell so that I always have visual control of it and getting that visual feedback. I'm going to take this hand, place it on my thigh, and that's going to give me an idea of where my torso is relative to my legs. And I'm going to keep my torso in front of my thigh as I follow the thigh or the leg down towards the floor until I hit the limits of my mobility. And now I'm going to pull those hips back in and regain alignment. So again, toes are directed away. I'm going to shift the hips, eyes on the bell, hand on the thigh, follow the leg down towards the floor until I reach my limits of mobility, and then pull the hips back in and regain alignment. Okay, so let's see a few reps of that. So that's the kettlebell windmill. I want to give you another piece of advice here. The front leg. The knee can be bent, especially for those of you who are rather inflexible in the hamstrings. I absolutely recommend keeping this knee unlocked. It's going to feel much more comfortable through your back and around your pelvis. The only issue with this is we can have the knee bent, but we don't want it bending. So as I go down, you shouldn't be drifting towards your toes. We want to make sure that we're pushing our center of mass back towards our heels as we follow down towards the floor. Okay? So knee can be bent, but it's statically bent. And we're hinging through the hips. We don't want to drift. And that's usually the word I use for it. Don't drift towards the toes. Try to keep your weight essentially fairly centered. Keep retracting through your shoulder blades. If you can't maintain a perfectly vertical arm position, then you'll have to work on that before you really start putting in a lot of hours with the windmill. So those are the main points of the kettlebell windmill. I don't think I've left anything out, but if I did, you can please comment in the comment section below. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Thanks, guys.